So that's the first few stitches done, and now it's just a case of following the pattern for the other ones. And I'll just continue, and then I'll mention it if I see something that is worth mentioning. We have something right here. So now there seems to be a little bit of a knot here, which you will notice because you're pulling the thread, but it doesn't go through as far as you would expect it to go. So then you'll quickly see something. So sometimes they're very easy to kind of get out. So I'll just grab one of the loops and pull. So now there's only one left. And then pull a bit on the other one, which seems to be a bit more stuck, but we're getting there. So in this case, it was a relatively easy one. Sometimes it will be more difficult. There's also times where I'll just give up and decide that it's not worth the effort, but then the back of your work will not look as pretty as you might want it to. I usually don't care about the back of my cross stitch pieces. So we're doing this again. This is always a bit of, some threads seem to have this a bit more than others. I just sort of try to find the part that is stuck. Right. So it's, yep. Alright, so we're there. So in this case, it seems to happen quite a bit. What you can do is sort of hold your piece upside down and then kind of let your needle fall down and see if it untangles a bit. Sometimes it can help. So I was doing this automatically, but basically at some point you'll see that you'll see that this part of your thread is getting very close to where you are, so then you just pull on the needle a bit and then it will simply move to where you want it to be. So as you can see, we're almost at the end of this thread. There's still a bit left. You could make a few more stitches if you wanted to, but in this case I'm just going to show you what I do when I'm at this point. And especially when you're beginning, it's nice to just have a little bit more left, so you have a bit of room to move around with your needle and you don't have to rethread and things like that. So basically we just need to make sure that it doesn't come loose. So usually what I do is I go through a few loops in the back. So in this case 4. I think I usually go through a minimum of 3. And then I will skip one of them and just go back through the other ones. In this case, because the needle is fairly sharp, it's very easy to go through. Sometimes it can require a little bit more of an effort, and then basically you take it off, and then I usually check the rest of my pattern. So I think here it looks like I had a bit of a knot and I didn't notice. So when we get through the color here, I will try to make sure that this bit gets cross-stitched over to make sure we don't end up with loose bits in the front. So usually when I've finished one thread, I check just what the back looks like to see if there are any issues with it. But yeah, I never really make sure that it looks pretty, as you've probably already noticed. So then I'll just cut off the bit that I don't need. And then it's just time to continue with the next thread. So I just grab one of them from the stitch and then thread it. Right, one color left. The only thing now is that you're only doing one cross stitch, so it will be more difficult to secure your thread using the methods that I've shown you so far. So in this case I would do it a little bit differently. So just work out where you're starting. We're starting on this side, figure out approximately where that is on the back. And then just go through 3 of them. So this only works, of course, if you've already put some stitches. So if you have a pattern where you only have one cross stitch of one color, you might have to wait with it until you have some stitches ready to attach your thread to. So just go to 3, then go to 2 when you go back, and then you can just stitch as you normally would without and then the other one. And then the final step is a little bit of back stitching. And since it's also with black, we can just continue using this one. And otherwise you would attach it the same as you would as if you were only doing one cross stitch, so just tie it into the back. So for back stitching, you usually have a line in your pattern that will show you where to make these stitches, and then you just go through these ones. And as soon as you encounter a place where you could theoretically put your needle through, I would just put it through and start again. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. I will continue making the other 2 pieces in the kit, and then next week I'll show you the results and tell you what I think about it. So I hope to see you then.